This morning, we are joined in the studio with Superintendent Dr. Tommy Schmolze from Rock Hill School District 3, as well as Rock Hill School District 3 board member James Burns. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Neither one of you are a stranger to Palmetto Mornings, so welcome back.
And there's proof that there's no summer break off.
That's right.
No.
That's
gentlemen
right.
are
Not
here.
even for board members.
No.
That's right. And speaking of that, last week was a special called board meeting. It happened on Thursday at 9 a.m. where a big announcement was made. So, Dr. Schmolze, I'll let you take the honors about what was announced.
Yeah, well, I'll start with this. One thing that we're held kind of hostage by how we get funded. In public ed, we're struggling. And we were waiting for the state to pass their budget. And as you know, that kind of drags on. So we didn't have a finalized budget. So imagine if you're a family trying to budget for a vacation or budget for the next year, and you don't know all your income. So we put out a preliminary budget. And when we did that, we obviously keep the board involved. And the push that the board charged us with is, let's get more money back in the classrooms. Our teachers are on the front line, and all our jobs at the district are to support teaching. And so it was great to get support from the board and the community. We increased our teacher pay beginning teacher pay up to $52,000.
Wow.
And that was from 47 change. So that's a big jump. And it's not just for beginning teachers. Once you do that, you increase the range all the way up to your veteran teachers that have 28 years. So it was so exciting for us to be able to do that and to send a message to teachers that we're here for you.
What has I can only imagine what people are saying, but what have you heard from teachers coming out of this announcement?
Yeah, typically you get a dichotomy of correspondence. One, if you do something, sometimes it benefits the younger teachers. Other times it benefits the veteran teachers. What this has done is benefit every teacher. So we're looking at retaining those great teachers that we have and also attracting new ones. My phone blew up. Email was going crazy. Even my neighbor 2 doors down came up to me, and she unfortunately works in a different district, and says,
"Can I have a job?"
Correct. Tell me about how contracts work and how, So this is a billboard for us. This sends a message that teachers are important to us.
And most of the teachers will get, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understood from the meeting, about an $8,000
over
increase.
$8,000.
Okay.
So some teachers are getting $13,000, $17,000 raises. So it just depends on the credentials, but it's been a game changer. I think Tommy and I were just talking about a month ago. We had 100 teacher openings, and what are we down to now?
We're down to 60 some.
Just in a couple of days.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
So this has created a huge retention rate for you guys going up there, and with the cost of living being so high, I mean, oftentimes we understand the public school, their hands are tied, and a pizza party or a pat on the back, though it's acknowledging them, you guys really went above and beyond. James, how do you guys feel like looking across the state where you guys now are leading the way in competition to retain more teachers?
Competitively, I think there's maybe only 2 districts in South Carolina that are ahead of us, maybe 3. But pound for pound cost of living, right now, Rock Hill stands out above the rest. So as long as we can keep pushing forward and competing, that's the whole thing. We have to compete for the best teachers.
And that brings me to my next question. And James, I talked to you about this on Thursday, and you actually said this in the meeting. It's not only about retaining the teachers that we have now, but it's for teachers or for high school graduates who are getting ready to go start their 4-year degree. And they're kind of in limbo. Like, am I going to be able to live on a teacher's salary? And you had a personal experience that you shared in the meeting. I thought it was great.
I had a good friend of mine text me last week and says, we need to know what the raises are, or what the beginning teacher pay is going to be, because my daughter has to make a decision now because she's going to college, and 3 of her friends. Well, guess what? Those 4 young ladies decided to come back they're going to school, and they're going to come back to Rock Hill and teach here.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, it's bringing those kids back home to pour into the community that helped shape them.
Exactly.
And I would think and I do think, that is the purpose of Rock Hill Schools. That's the mission.
Yeah, our whole point is workforce development. Whether you go into college or whether you go straight into the workplace or in the military, we need to prepare you for that. So if we can attract the best of the best, and that's what we struggled before with math teachers, science teachers. A lot of them went into engineering because of the pay. So we hope we can at least throw an attraction out there. Hey, come at least take a peek at public ed. Just take a peek at it, and then let us make the experience worthy, where you stay with us for 30 years or your entire career.
Well, the other thing, too, is the economic benefits. Now you're putting more money into their pockets. They're able to stay, live, work, and play here in Rock Hill. And I know that's a huge thing from the economy standpoint.
Yeah, that's right. Some of these guys, we have to get out of the way. We got a bunch of sugar mamas running around now.
Oh, watch out.
Now, a buzzword that we're hearing a lot across our country when it comes to public education is vouchers, and what that means for charter and public and private. And either one of you can take this question. What's your response to that?
The state of South Carolina is basically going to mirror Florida. Florida's a decade ahead of us, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's going to be where basically the state will give back the parent their tax dollars to send their kid where they want to. So they're making competition within the state. So the public school system has got to get outside of its realm of what it knows and kind of shift for changing times, if I could just say. But so it's more or less competition. We can do that. We have a lot of resources at the public sector. I didn't know that. This is my first time working in the public sector, but I know that we can get out there and compete with the private schools, the charter schools, the home schools, and really come out on top. But we have to first focus on what is working, what is not working. Get rid of the things that aren't working, and let's take the things that are working and put them on a pedestal and keep pouring money into them, which is like our teachers. Without the teachers, we have nothing.
Right.
Do you feel like you've lost a lot of students to those alternatives?
Yeah, we have, and we're trying to track that down. COVID has hit us hard too. A lot of students didn't come back from that, back to us from that. So as James said, we're looking at how do we get more competitive? What are those nuggets? What are those products that we can provide that someone else can't provide at that level? And then focus on those. And so bringing good teachers back to the classroom or inspiring our students that are in our classrooms today to go into public ed is huge for us. That's a return of investment that 20 years, 30 years down the line that we'll see.
It'll pay off.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side, in order to give all of the classroom teachers these raises, it was about a $16 million increase.
Correct.
Is that right? Am I giving that?
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So where's the makeup? Like, how is that going to work from the district? What are we going to have to pull back on? What's going to happen in that perspective? What's that going to look like?
Yeah, so we need to analyze all our processes, right? So you have programs, and James and I have been talking about this since James is on the board and I came to the district. For the past 25, maybe 30 years, Rock Hill has put a lot of effort into looking at the next shiny object. I want to flip that, and that's what we've done here, is I want to focus on our people, whether that's our leaders in administration or in our classrooms. And let's reinforce the positive there. Let's hold people accountable. Let's look at, like James said, what's working for us. If it's working, let's keep supporting it. If it's not working, we need to look at something different. And that's what we're doing now. Administration is in charge of going through our whole organization chart to look at who's supporting what processes, and do we need to change that process or look at doing something different with the personnel that we have?
It's the age-old adage, put into the pedestal the ones that are working well. Don't reinvent the wheel. Pour the dollars, resources into that, and kudos to you all for taking time to unveil under the covers what's working, what's not, and maybe it's not getting rid of something, but it's changing up the process,
tweaking it.
So we did this without a millage rate increase. So that's huge for the community.
Yeah.
Hard for Tommy.
Poor Tommy.
And we have honest conversations about this.
Right.
Our business folks take the brunt of operating schools, and that's horrible that our system is set up. Act 388, and we can go in depth to that at another time, but Act 388 destroyed that relationship, and I've tried to do everything I could to restore it, excuse me, with the Chamber of Commerce and talking to business. Your mom and pop business person can't handle tax increase after tax increase after tax increase. And if they can't do that and they drop off the radar, then we lose that funding as well. So it's symbiotic. It's a relationship that we have to stroke. So we should be looking at another way to forward public ed rather than just off the shoulders of business people.
James knows exactly what he is talking about.
Yeah, that I have a store in York and a store here in Rock Hill. The Rock Hill store is quadruple the size of the Ford store in York. And the amount of tax, I pay the same amount of taxes at both because of the schools, the millage rate over in York.
It depends on what shirt he's wearing. He's wearing a Burn shirt today.
Yeah,
so he's
true.
If he's wearing a Rock Hill Schools, it could be a different answer.
Good point.
Another question I've been asked since Thursday, what does this mean for maybe teachers that aren't in classroom roles, support roles, or bus drivers, or cafeteria staff, janitorial staff? What does it mean for those people?
Yeah, we're just taking a closer look at exactly what people do and at what level they do that. Like we were saying, you might be able to combine job descriptions, and one person can do both of those if done right. This is not a hatchet job. This is not come in and clear everybody out, and that's not what this is about. This is about being smart with the money that we have.
If people are interested in becoming a teacher in Rock Hill schools, or if they are looking to come back, are you going to? And that's another question. Are you going to welcome them back with open arms? What do they need to do to get with you or the school, or tell them what to do?
TouchHeartsTeach.com is the place to go to look at any kind of job that we have. TouchHeartsTeach.com. I'm going to push back a little bit.
Sure.
There's some people that don't need to come back, if I'm going to be completely honest. We want the best teachers. When a teacher shortage comes, sometimes there's people that jump into the classroom that might not be the best for kids. And so hopefully this allows us to be a little more choosy and picky. And I don't mean us, just Rock Hill schools. I mean schools across the nation are battling this. Our kids deserve the best. And that's what we're looking. So if you are an awesome teacher and you decided to leave for whatever reason, open arms, absolutely.
Please come back.
If you were someone who just jumped in thinking this is going to be an easy job, that's not who I'm looking for. So I guess to push back, we want people, but we want the best people.
What constitutes as the best people? What are you looking for?
Yeah, first, do you love kids? Do you love kids? Do you want what's best for them? Second, are you willing to roll up your sleeves and do whatever it takes to get that done? And that's two different things. You can love them into mediocrity. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking at love to stretch them. So I think those two things. And obviously, we'll provide support. We have some teachers that have never taught before that have lateral entry, a different way to get in. That's what we're looking at, is these people that have been in the business world for years that have a skill set that we can use. That will help you in the classroom and how to handle that management and grading and things like that. But if you have that knowledge, that base knowledge, that's what we're after.
And Tommy, I resonate exactly what you're saying. The teachers that pushed me out of my comfort zone but knew I wasn't going to fall, those are the ones that I appreciated, not the ones that were just slapping 100 on your papers and saying good job with no critique. The ones that pushed you hard were the best.
No trophy for everybody here.
There you go.
That's right. Well, if you're one of those teachers, again, touchheartsteach.com to join the Rock Hill Schools. Starting salary is now $52,000 a year. So thank you, Superintendent Schmolze and Board Member James Burns. We appreciate it.
Welcome.